Hi everybody, welcome to the FY18 mini grantee orientation. I just wanted to do a couple of reminders for your award for your grant and give you a little bit of kind of a step-by-step look at what to expect as an awardee moving forward with your project through midpoint as well as the end of your project. So we'll just go ahead and get started, jump right in. A couple of important deadlines. We will do a very brief mid-project check-in on January 15th of 2018. Your funds must be expended no later than May 15th of 2018, which means that any bills or invoices, any expenditures must be made no later than May 15th. Your final report will be due on June 15th, 2018. And your project must begin before March 1st, 2018. The next most important thing is acknowledgement. The Maryland Heritage Area Authority is actually providing the funding through our management grant at the local level. So these funds directly come from our management grant through the Mountain Maryland Gateway to the West Heritage Area being funded through the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority through the state. Acknowledgement is super important. It ensures recognition of both organizations for your financial support, including both the heritage area at a local level as well as a state level. Acknowledgement should include logos of both organizations as well as the text "This project was funded by" or funded in part by. And if you have any questions on that as you're working on your projects, you can let me know. But some examples would be if you're doing, for example, a flyer or a map, brochures, press releases, putting it on the website, anything like that, that is where you'll want to ensure that the acknowledgement is included. If you're doing an event, for example, that can be done so through a verbal acknowledgement at the event, as well as any printed materials for the event as well. I will send those logos to you so that you will have them for implementation. We do request that before you print any pieces that you send that draft to us for review. That way we can ensure all of the logos are correct as well as the text is included as well. Everything looks good before you go to print. Just super important for us to do that so that we know that both acknowledgements are as needed by the state as well as at the local level. Next most important are budget and documentation. I know some of you have been awardees in the past. This is something that is still extremely important, and I just wanted to go through just some of the fundamentals when it comes to the budget and documentation. Again, because the grant comes through the management grant here at the local level, it's extremely important to notify me if you are in any instance where you might be running short on your budget. So for example, your original quote was for $4,000. However, after all is said and done, things are looking like it's actually going to be closer to $2,000. That is something you want to let me know of. This way, if we can encourage you to do something in addition to make up that amount, we can at that point. If for some reason we're getting closer to the deadline, that is funding that as a heritage area I have to make up. So the earlier I know, the better, so that I can make those adjustments if needed. So when you're working on your projects, it's important to also keep a really close eye on your budget. And what that means is you'll want to make sure that if it's not listed in your budget, you really can't do it unless you talk to us first. We need to improve any changes that would be listed from your original budget in your applications to when you're working on the project itself. You can't move money around in the budget, again, without approval. Certainly reach out to me and we can talk about that as well. All grant and matching expenditures must be documented, and I'll go over that here in a moment, but this is crucial. The Maryland Heritage Areas Authority requires any grant funds utilized and as well matching funds to be documented. This includes both receipt of the expenditure as well as proof of payment. Here's a little example. I know it's a little small. However, on the left, we have an invoice that shows the amount that was due. On the right, we have a bank statement. I've blacked out the most, and you can do this as well. You can block out everything except for we do need to have the line item that matches the amount that was spent on the invoice. If you do a credit card transaction, we need both the credit card receipt as well as your credit card statement showing, again, both expenditure and proof of payment. If you have any questions on that, please let me know, because again, this is extremely important as MHA requires that full documentation for both. You cannot just include the check that you wrote to the service provider. It has to be either the canceled check or the bank statement as shown here in the example. At the mid-project report deadline, which is January 15th, we just ask a few simple questions. Just provide a project timeline of what you have been completed thus far. Also, again, if there's any concern with your budget, is there potential to come in under budget? That's where you'll indicate there. Or again, you can call me directly. If there's concern about completing the project by the deadline of May 15th, this is also where you'll want to let me know. If there's any concern about completing it, we'll need to know at this point so we can discuss any possibilities of making changes to your project at that point. A final report. Once your project has been completed, we do need to have a final report submitted. Again, this report will be included with my management grant report that I complete every year. This information is important so that MHAA knows what projects were completed through the mini grant program, as well as we can then share those success stories as well. Again, most important with your final report, making sure that you've indicated the acknowledgement of both the Mountain Maryland Gateway to the West, as well as the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority. Photo or print documentation of the acknowledgement is required. So in other words, I need a picture of a sign, I need a picture of a display, I need an actual copy of your project that you can send to me in a PDF form or tangible form as well. You can send to the mail, that's fine as well. And again, the second most important thing is the budget and documentation. Again, we just need to have all the invoices and all the proof of payments along with your report to be completed. And those items must match your budget. Final disbursement will be sent basically after we have reviewed your final report and confirmed that all of your requirements have been fulfilled. So making sure that, again, acknowledgement is included, that you've completed the project as indicated in your application, as well as your budget and documentation are completely finished. And then finally, we want you to show off your projects. We ask that you submit photos of your project and other documentation. That way we can share this. This is, part of our program, of course, is supporting heritage tourism, which these projects are for. So we want to share those through our website and our social media channels as this is a way for us to really get out there what our heritage area and the folks within our heritage area are doing. So we want to share it as much as you are willing to share it to submit your projects themselves. Okay, so that's basically everything, most important things. If you have any questions and concerns, you can always reach out to me. I have my email address, and most of you have it already, as well as my direct dial. So if you do have come across any questions, or if you have anything that you're unsure of, please ask me first. It's easier for us to take a look at a question you have beforehand rather than trying to adjust it after the fact. If you have any questions regarding the logos, regarding the acknowledgement, budgeting, any project changes, things like that, please feel free to reach out to me and we can discuss those together. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching.